we find ourselves facing a deeply concerning and urgent issue that demands our attention. The Social Security Administration, a cornerstone of financial stability for countless Americans, is facing growing calls for accountability. Social Security recipients, many of whom are vulnerable individuals, are being subjected to the harsh reality of overpayment demands that threaten their livelihoods and financial security. In recent weeks, a disturbing trend has emerged, with countless individuals sharing their stories of receiving alarming overpayment demands from the government, particularly from the Social Security Administration. This issue has gained significant media attention, with news articles proliferating at an astonishing rate. The sheer number of families grappling with these unexpected bills is staggering, and it's as if they've been blindsided by a sudden financial punch to the face. Consider the stories that have come to light. An Oregon man now burdened with a $99,000 debt due to Social Security overpayments, a North Texas woman grappling with a $41,000 demand, and even an Arlington man told to repay money paid to his mother in 1978. These cases are not isolated incidents. They represent a broader pattern of hardship inflicted on people who rely on these payments. It's important to emphasize that these individuals are not at fault. The Social Security Administration acknowledges that the overpayments are primarily a result of its own errors rather than any wrongdoing on the part of recipients. Shockingly, in some cases, the agency failed to validate accuracy before dispersing payments, leading to significant overpayments. This level of mismanagement is inexcusable. The head commissioner of the Social Security Administration, Dr. Kilolo Kijikaze, is facing increasing pressure to address this crisis. The American people deserve a clear and decisive response. It's time for the commissioner to either rectify these issues promptly or step aside. President Joe Biden has already suggested a potential successor, Martin O'Malley, but the urgency of the situation requires immediate action. We must remember that Social Security is not an entitlement program. It's a lifeline for those who have contributed to it throughout their working lives. Recipients often live on fixed incomes that struggle to keep pace with the ever-increasing cost of living, especially with the current inflation rates. The audacity of the Social Security Administration to demand tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in repayment when people are already struggling is beyond comprehension. Lawmakers are taking notice and have begun demanding accountability. Calls for congressional hearings and investigations are growing louder, and rightly so. Senators Sherrod Brown, Rick Scott, Representative Mike Carey, and others are seeking answers from the Social Security Administration regarding the issuance of billions of dollars in overpayments and the subsequent demand for repayment. Many of these recipients are elderly, impoverished, and disabled, making repayment an impossible burden. In response to the investigations, Representative Mark Molinaro has urged the Social Security Administration to fix its systems immediately and cease the aggressive pursuit of overpayments. He aptly points out that it is grossly unfair to demand repayment from seniors who unknowingly receive these overpayments due to the agency's mistakes. If you or someone you know has received one of these daunting letters demanding repayment, it is crucial to file an appeal immediately. While there is hope for resolution through appeals, there have been instances where people were forced to sell their homes and face financial ruin due to these unjust demands. The situation is dire, affecting the lives of millions of Americans. We cannot stand idly by while those who depend on Social Security payments for their well-being suffer due to administrative errors. It is time for swift action, transparency, and accountability within the Social Security Administration. The future of countless vulnerable individuals hangs in the balance, and we must hold those responsible to account. We will continue to monitor this developing situation and provide updates to keep you informed. Your support and engagement are essential in this critical endeavor. Thank you for joining us in advocating for justice and fairness in our Social Security system.